Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the shed. It's been a while since I've done a video, actually. So yeah, it's been a bit of a mad time. Happy New Year, by the way. I want to start a little series on this channel talking about EDC, everyday carry. I'm a bit of an EDC perv, to be quite honest, particularly dry or waxed canvas bags. I'm a total bag freak when it comes. I'm worse than my missus, to be fair. Or no, I'm not worse than my missus. I'll take that back. She likes a handbag. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so I want to do a video here talking about my mobile studio setup. Like if I was to, I love working in the shed, right? I love working out of here, but occasionally, quite often, I like to go into town. It's like a 15-20 minute walk into town, in the town centre. And yeah, quite often I'll set up there with the iPad and stuff and just get cracking and work from a coffee shop or whatever, because it's nice, isn't it, just to get out and be around people. We can get a little bit roamery in my shed, if I'm honest. So I thought to myself, I've been banging to like EDC for years, so I thought I might as well do a little video on it and see if any of this resonates with you. But yeah, just a few points around my take on like everyday carry, if you like, for creatives, which is what this kind of little series will be about. I'd rather spend a little bit extra on a quality bag. I'm not one of these people who likes to buy bags, hither dither, willy nilly. I'd rather have something that's durable and tough and is sustainable, better for the planet as well as sort of be better for my pocket in the long run. And for me, like there's a few brands that I just absolutely love and I keep coming back to. One of them is Track, a Scottish brand, TRAKKE, which thankfully they're still going because they had a bit of a blip. Was it like last year, having gone into administration? But anyway, they're back on the up and up, and I'll talk about one of their bags, or a few of their bags actually, in a future video. But for this one, I want to talk about the Fjällräven Greenland shoulder bag that I've got, the small 13-inch version, so it holds like a 13-inch device, a laptop or iPad or whatever, tablet. And for me, it's just brilliant. I keep coming back to it. It's a beautiful little bag. It's rugged. It's like, water resistant. I'm not going to say waterproof. I wouldn't want to throw it in a river or anything, obviously, with stuff inside. But it is definitely water resistant. It can, it can hold off a fucking UK shower. That's for sure. And your gear's going to be fine inside. So I've got no problems with that. I'll show you what I put in it, how I pack it for a little trip into town. Let's get into it. And here it is. Like I say, it's the 13-inch version, looking a little bit, well, it's got character, right? Patinaed, I think they call it. Yeah, but it's a big favourite of mine. It's proper lightweight, it's durable. You can see it's been used a bit. I'll flip it around. Yeah, there's no sort of like extra padding on the back as such, but it's durable and just super well made. They're a quality company. You're probably familiar with their products if you haven't got any yourself. I've got a couple of other little things. I've got like a couple of little pouches and stuff I'll probably pull up on here at some point and show you. But yeah, this is just a lovely bag, man. This is my literally my daily carry, really. If I'm going to work in town, I'll take this thing with me and stick the iPad in, or the MacBook, or sometimes both. But then obviously that can get a little bit weighty if you're using two devices. So I'm trying my best this year to just go iPad only as much as I possibly can. And yeah, I think with the iPad OS 26 update, we're getting there now. I think we're pretty much there in terms of creativity on the iPad and just being productive. I've got no worries about it now. It was, I don't know, we had issues, didn't we, before with Stage Manager and stuff like that, but now we can truly multitask and whatnot. Anyway, going off on a bit of a tangent now, but I'm going to try and keep this just about the bag and the kit that I use. So let's have a quick look inside. So you've got this lovely pocket here, which is got this little bit of extra protection, as you can see, and that's where the iPad's going to go. And then in here you've got another deep pocket for whatever else, other bits and bobs you got, and I'll talk through that in a bit. Then inside, if you can see that properly, you've got a zip pocket here, which is pretty awesome. And inside that, you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 other pockets or pouches. I'll show you in a minute, but I'll get a power bank in here. You can obviously get a pen and a pencil, a couple of pens in there. And this one here is a bit thinner than this one. You could well, don't know what you can get in there, quite frankly. Not an awful lot. Something quite thin, but as you'll see, and what I've got something in there already. buried at the bottom. Probably an old tissue or something. Oh, lo and behold, look, don't know what that is. But yeah, I've got one of these little, oh, result, I was looking for that. Microfiber cloth, that's the result. Yeah, so you've got plenty of space in here, man. It's a wicked bag, absolutely wicked bag. And like I say, water resistant, really tough wax canvas. I did try, I think that's where some of these marks have come from. I bought myself one of the wax bars that they do and gave it a good going over. Yeah, in fact, that's why it's ended up so sort of scuffed, really, because that's just to help give it more water resistance, basically. But you know what I mean, you don't really need that, I don't think. You're good to go once you get this thing. Yeah, so, oh, and also there is another little secret little stash pocket around here, which is proper handy. It's quite deep as well. That goes in all the way to there, so that's like a good hand sort of depth in this bag. And what that's handy for, and I'll show it later on in the video, I'll put it on and I'll show you it. I'll sort of walk it through, but obviously you can just use that to put, you know, smaller items in, whatever. Yeah, but we'll talk through that. So yeah, that's it in its raw glory. Like I say, love it, super durable, no sort of plastic shit, you know, on it. Just, yeah, tough, really tough strap, beautifully done, man. Love it to bits. This and the track bag that I've got, the track messenger bag, are my favourite. This is more lightweight than the track messenger bag I've got, but I'll do another video about that one because, again, yeah, it's easily as good as this one, but at the moment this is my go-to. So right, let's pack it out. Right, so first things first, iPad Pro 13-inch M4 with the Moft dynamic folio case, which is lovely. Got the Apple Pencil attaches there because I've got this little gadget that I bought to go with it, so I can make sure that the Apple Pencil is secure. So we're going to start off with that. That is going to go in that compartment I was showing you at the very beginning there, which is a little bit padded, as you can see. Right, so that drops in. It does go all the way down to the base, but this is a padded base in this bag, so I've got absolutely no worries about it. You know, it's not thin at the bottom like it is here, if you like. It's properly padded on the bottom, so I've got no worries about the iPad going all the way down to the bottom there. As you can see, fits in super nice. Just zoom out a little bit. Let's do that again. Yeah, fits in really lovely and snug. And then if you wanted that little bit of extra sort of stability, you've got this, you know, little clasp that you can whack on there as well. Beautiful, love it. Right, next thing that I'm going to put in there actually is got the Logitech mini keyboard. So let's turn that off. Yeah, so this is a lovely little keyboard. Been using this lately with my iPad. I've debated for ages whether to get a Magic Keyboard or not for the iPad 13-inch, because I had one for the 12.9-inch and I didn't use it as much as I thought I would, to be fair. And so for a long time I sort of debated and etc. Anyway, I've ended up, this is brilliant. And you know what I mean, it's just as good as, man. Like, because I've got the Moft folio, obviously I can have the iPad at any angle, from drawing, painting, or if I want to flip it and stand it up and type. So yeah, the Magic Keyboard just is, it's not a necessity for me at the moment, whereas something like this is. And it's just Logitech knocking it out of the park again. Yeah, really, really lovely quality. I won't go into details on this now because this is just about the EDC and sort of loading it out. But I do have a little carry case for this that I bought separately. Who's this by? Can't remember who does this now. Nah, can't remember. Sorry, it's not branded. But it's a pretty standard little sort of, you know, protective case for the keyboard. So that goes in there. Zip that up. And what I'll do with that is I'll put that in the very main compartment there. Slides in nicely. Sorry about the wobble, by the way. Yeah, that's the desk and the arms. I've got that going on. Right, so something that I've had for absolutely years now is this Bellroy Tech pouch. You see the classic Bellroy owl on it. I've had this, man, I don't know, like 5 years now, something like that. And I've just had no need to use anything else. And yeah, I was proper geeking out on tech pouches and whatnot for a while, and I've had a few other ones. I've got a Peak Design tech pouch that I use. I just keep all my cables in. Yeah, that's just packed out with like leads and whatnot, and adapters and stuff that I don't need with me on a daily basis. So that just lives in the shed, and I'll dip into that, you know, every now and then if I need something specific. But this is my little daily thing, and it's brilliant. I've got a little USB-C sort of receiver for my Logitech Pebble mouse, which is going to go in there, but I don't really need this anymore because it's I'm Bluetoothed up with that, so I'm going to put that to one side. Less is more, right? Like at the end of the day, I'm going to try and keep the weight down in this thing. All right, it's only a 15-20 minute walk into town, or if I'm doing a commute into London and I'm taking this with me, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't want to be lugging around something that weighs, 2 tons. So I am keeping the weight to as much of a minimum as I possibly can. If I need more stuff, like if I was taking a MacBook and an iPad, I've got other bags for that. I've got a rucksack, a couple of track rucksacks or backpacks that I'd use like for commuting and stuff, which are lovely as well. But yeah, this is a shoulder bag, right? You don't want it weighing an absolute ton and pulling on one side of your body sort of thing. If you've got back issues like I have, you'll know all about it. So I try to keep it lightweight. So that being said, in here I just got some bits and bobs. Emergency Apple earphones, old school USB style, just in case I lose my AirPods. Fucking hell, God forbid. Yeah, then I would be in trouble. Can't be doing that on commutes and stuff, and even just walking into town. You know what I mean? It's got to be. Yeah, man. I need my music. What have I got here? Yeah, I've just got a couple of Apple Pencil tip, or just one Apple Pencil tip lying around. Just bits and bobs. Like this is nice for the Apple Pencil. It's a grip. Obviously it goes on the pencil, and then yeah, it just helps with. I forget the name. This might be a Paperlike actually. I'm not too sure, but that's a nice little thing just for that extra comfort when you're drawing, when you're painting, etc. Put that back in there. So I've got a couple of them, and yeah, this stuff just lives inside here, right? So this has got a little magnetic clasp, which is lovely, and it just keeps everything, all the little bits and bobs that you don't want flying around, keeps them out of the way. Yep, the Logitech Pebble mouse, really nice. I've got the MX mouse as well from Logitech, and in fact, where have I got that? Got that here somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, this beast of a mouse, and I like it, man. It's ergonomic and whatnot. But you know what? I use this pretty much daily as my main workhorse mouse. But to be fair, I just prefer this. It's just something about it. It's just a lovely little thing. It does everything. I don't need multiple controls, all sorts of buttons, programming buttons for this, that, and the other, shortcuts and whatnot. I don't feel I need any of that. So I just carry this, and that lives in this little pocket here. But what can happen, this has become a little bit loose over time. So what tends to happen, I can open this up and this thing will sort of like drop out or whatever, comes out quite easily, right? So I tend to just pack it out with a glove. Always have a couple of these with me for when I'm using the iPad, when I'm painting. Yeah, just really nice. Obviously, you don't want your palm going across the screen all the time. So I'll get one of those and I'll just shove it in there, and that just packs it out a bit. Fucking hell, sorry about the wobble. Do apologise. What's next? Yeah, so little mouse mat. You can see I've had this for a while. Fucking state of it. But yeah, I'll always take that with me, and I'll tend to just, that fits lovely just in there. Perfect. I've got a little USB-C plug, and that'll drop in there. You can see what I haven't got with me, have I? A cable. Yeah, don't know where that's gone, but bear with me. Imagine I'll have a USB-C, I've got them all hooked up under here, but basically a USB-C cable that I'll just wrap up and probably sort of whack in there, or in the main compartment bit. My cloth I found. I've usually got one of these with me anyway, but seeing as I just found it in this bag, I'll shove that in there as well, and that from flipping around too much and popping out and everything. But you can see with these pockets, you know what I mean, you can get a fair few bits in there. Could shove another one of those gloves in there. Yeah, really, really nice. What I love about this is just that box shape. It just holds its shape. Yeah, so you know what I mean, you've got no worries. It just feels protective, which is really nice. So that's kind of it really with this pouch. You know what I mean, you could get tons more stuff in here. You've got these lovely little bands for holding stuff, like, I don't know, you could sort of like, I've got this Moft iPhone case, stand, which is really nice. Yeah, I think I'll do another video on that at some point, but obviously the phone just goes on there. You could effectively just whack that in there. You've got something else here. This is a multi-tool. Well, it's not, it was a multi-tool. It's just a tin for it, but in here I just tend to have some paracetamol and stuff with me, plasters, whatever, antiseptic wipe. Getting well geeky, getting EDC now, and all right, see, I told you what you let yourself in for. Start an EDC channel. So in essence, you could have that in there or something similar, right? But I don't like to do that because this is a tech pouch. This isn't tech, this is medicine, right? So we'll keep that separate. yeah, I do get a bit OCD about me EDC. Moving on. So we got that. Okay, I'll tell you what you could put in here, thinking about it. Earbud cleaning kit. Pretty techy, right? You got my AirPods with me. Yeah, I'll get those out before I forget. So could whack the AirPods in this pouch, but not finding a particular sort of place for them to live. I like things to be a bit tidy, so we'll leave those out for now. But with something like this little earbud cleaning kit, I only used this the other day because these can get a bit minging over time. So anyway, beautiful. Look at that. That can go in there. That can go on top. Closes up. We zip that. Happy days, right? Now we're going to whack that. Now you can sort of see what I'm talking about. See if you can get a proper look at this. This clasp. And tell you what, do you know what I might do? See if we can get that in here. Oh man, it is wobbling around a bit. Apologise. So if we were to do, we could keep the two of those together, essentially. Yeah, but you can start to see it's starting to pack out a little bit now, having that keyboard in there. But we ain't done yet. We're all good. Because in this part here, next to that, I'm going to stick my notebook, because always have a notebook with me. Bullet journal vibes. Yeah, just picked this one up actually. This is by Dingbats. I've had a couple of these in the past. What I love about this is the size. It's an A6 notebook. Yeah, it's lovely. They're super sustainable as well, these guys. They give money to the World Wildlife Fund, etc. in the UK. Dingbats, yeah, really lovely little company. Vegan leather vibes going on here. Yeah, so this is a nice little notebook. I didn't want anything too bulky, so that will slot in there. Yeah, and we're good. Now, I've got my ruler, but the ruler could sort of live in, say, that compartment there. AirPods. Well, to be fair, a lot of the time I wear like cargo trousers, cargo pants, as the Americans like to call it, or cargo trousers, combat trousers, and quite often I'll have I don't like to carry much in my pockets, right, unless I'm wearing cargo trousers. So these will quite often live in my leg pocket of my cargo trousers. But if we were trying to find a little room for them, oh, here's another thing I found actually, quite important, Apple AirTag, in case I lose this bad boy. Well, if I lose it, I've probably lost it, to be fair, if someone's had it away or whatever. But if I've put it down somewhere for a minute, and you know, I can obviously locate it with one of these. So it's always nice to, I've got loads of these, and it's quite nice to just have them dotted about. You could just stick that in that little pocket that I was saying I didn't really know what to do with, if you know what I mean, and keep it there and forget all about it. Yeah, so the multi-tool, which isn't a multi-tool, yeah, medicine. I just love this little tin, and it just fitted perfectly with, like, for, you know, plasters, tablets, whatever. What else have I got in here? I've got one of these miracle hangover cure powders that I've never really used. But yeah, this could slot, well, it can't at the moment. I was trying to see if it would slot in there, but it won't. But you could just chuck that in, whatever. But this pouch here I want to show you, because I've got a power bank. Yeah, so really nice little RavPower power bank, and this fits beautifully in this pouch on the right hand side here that I was talking about. So that is a really nice, see if I can show you that a bit more. Yeah, that just fits so snug in there, man. Love it when something like that happens. Super snug, right? It's lovely. Right, we're starting to load it out now, proper. iPad mini with another Moft dynamic folio case. Yeah, bought the big one first and then thought I've got to have one for the mini, right? It's just a lovely little thing. Now, I wouldn't always have this with me, the mini, not always, especially if I've got a notebook, but this can come in handy as like a second screen. I'm going to start playing around with this a bit more actually. If I've got this sitting to the side and I've got other documents I want to be looking at, and just be sort of scrolling Pinterest and having a look on there whilst working on the iPad Pro. So I do like to have this with me as a second screen. Yeah, as part of my workflow. So now we can whack that in there. I mean, look, now you can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to try and zoom out a bit on this. Hold tight. You can see it now. We really loaded this thing out, right? So yeah, but look, you can see how much gear you can get in this bag. It's absolutely awesome. Couple of other little bits, seeing as we have got, you know, we're getting it to the max now, really. I like to have a little carrier bag with me, so that can just drop in there. Of course, got some hand sanitizer. Don't leave home without it. Yeah, just since COVID, I suppose, people started carrying these around more, which is no bad thing, right? Yeah, you want to grab a sandwich or something, you're out, you've got to make sure your hands are clean. Look after yourselves, people. And that can go in there, and then we can just zip that up, and we're good to go. There is one more thing, actually, I'll show you. Just park this to the side a minute. But this I take absolutely everywhere with me. So this is a essentially like a sort of a wallet. I mean, this is kind of shaped for your pocket. Like I said, I don't carry much in my pockets if I can help it. Tissues and AirPods, you know what I mean? And my phone, to be fair. Phone always lives in my right pocket, just because, you know, just because, easy reach. And yeah, I just like having it there. But that's it. Like, I don't like to have loads of cash or cards in my pocket and stuff like that. And this will either live in a sling bag or it will live in my left hand pocket. But it's by a Mexican company called Hide and Drink. You see the logo there. You can get this on Amazon, I believe. It's where I got it from. And it's like pretty cheap, you know. I can't remember what I paid for it now. I really can't remember, but it's a lovely thing. What I like about it is I keep my Swiss Army knife in there. Got these 2 sort of slots. Always have that with me. And a lovely little torch. I've got this and its big, slightly bigger brother, which is about this big. And this is, oh man, I can never pronounce the name right. Rivon. I'll find out for you and I'll leave it in the description. All of these bits I'll put in the comments or in the description anyway, so you can see. But this is a lovely little torch, super bright. You can't appreciate it on the screen, but for what it is, man, I can't remember what the lumens are on this, but it is super bright, and it's the A8. Yeah, I'll leave a little link. Love this thing. Use this all the time. There's an alleyway just around the corner. I use a lot. Come out my house, chuck a right. There's an alleyway through to the local shops, and it's never well lit, but it is when I've got this with me. It fucking lights up like a football stadium. So yeah, it's really nice. Anyway. Open this up, look how many cards I've got in there. I've got a little bit of cash in there. Who carries cash these days? I normally don't, but I do have some emergency cash in there. And I've got a ton of cards in here, man. I've got too many, to be fair. It's packed out, as you can tell, because I can't zip it sort of all the way up, but that's not a problem. What I love about this is it's leather. It's just, it patinas really nicely. You know, you get this nice little marks on it and stuff like that. I like that. And this is what I'm saying, like with my EDC stuff, me personally, I just like stuff that lasts, you know. I'd rather pay, and not that this was expensive, but I'd rather pay a bit more for something like this. And again, this wasn't particularly expensive. I can't remember, like I say, I'll link it. So yeah, I'd rather pay a bit more for a quality bag or quality sort of tech pouch or whatever it might be than just buy new shit every other week. You know, cheaper stuff that's kind of not going to sort of last too well and whatnot. So this could, obviously I've got tons of room here. I could throw it in there. You know, it wouldn't really make a difference, but I won't. I'll keep that on my person, in my pocket. But like I say, if I've got a sling bag, I will do a little episode about sling bags because I've got a few of them. Not hundreds, you know, but quality, proper nice little sling bags that will take like an iPad mini. But that's it. They won't take the bigger iPads and stuff like that. I'll do another video about that. So yeah, once it's all loaded out, it literally just buckles up like that. Got this lovely this metal buckle here. Yeah, and that's good, and you can tighten it up if you want to, and you're good to go. Yeah, lovely. You've got this handle on there, this carry handle that sort of, it's nice. You can just grab and go. Oh yeah, there was that little pocket as well, wasn't there? Forgot about that. I don't use it an awful lot. It can get a bit tight once you've loaded it out. Yeah, that can get pretty tight. But saying that, if you wanted to, if you really wanted to, then it's in there. Yeah, so you can see, you know what I mean, it does the job, man. You can just see that. So if I needed to, I could grab that, and yeah, it's all good. So now the shoulder test, right? Show you this thing in action. So I'm going to say with that like loaded out, you're probably looking at about, I'm going to guess at about 10-12 kilos, I reckon I'm carrying there. That's a bit of a guess. Don't take that as gospel, but with everything you've seen sort of going in there, yeah, I'm going to maybe go at about sort of 10-12 kilos. But anyway, the shoulder test. Let's get this on. You can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a lovely bag. You know, I mean, you wouldn't want to put much more than that in it. To be fair, then you're into backpack territory, definitely. Yeah, with the keyboard, you know, I mean, I wouldn't need if I had the MacBook in there as well as the iPad, which is rare, but if I had to do that, obviously I wouldn't need the keyboard. So, but again, yeah, it's horses for courses, right? Like I say, I'm trying to keep everything to a bit of a minimum, and I have loaded it out quite a bit there. Yeah, so this is what we're talking about, basically. Really nice, pretty comfortable. Like I say, you wouldn't want to load it out much more than that. It could start to get a little bit uncomfortable, but just to show you how it sits, yeah, I'm like I say, super happy with it. Yeah, I kind of have it sort of fairly low slung, but again, totally adjustable. Obviously, you can have it higher. And if you have it on the other side, there's that little secret sort of compartment I was telling you about. I mean, obviously for something like this is super handy for a wallet, you know. any items like, or a passport or something. If you're going travelling, you're going abroad, and you want to keep this close to your hand luggage, keep your passport in there. And I love this, man. This is just such a lovely little detail that they thought about. Yeah, so super handy having that there, just quick access to it, and you're good to go. Yeah, so hit me up in the comments if you want to see more videos on EDC. I've got other bags that I can talk about, and yeah, like I said, I definitely want to do one on the track messenger bag that I've got, because that's definitely in this bracket, this kind of family. Yeah, but let me know in the comments if you like this kind of vibe. I could talk about EDC till the cows come home. I mean, there's not a lot I don't like about this bag. I do a lot of research first on bags before I go and purchase any. I don't like to just sort of dive in. So I did a lot of research on this one, like I do with anything I buy, to be fair. I'm always looking at reviews and watching videos and geeking out on it and stuff like that first. So before I take the plunge, you know. I can't think of anything I don't really like about this bag. You know, it just ticks all the boxes. Come on, I'll treat you to a coffee. Let's take it for a spin.